Go faster, go faster, go faster, go faster, go faster, go faster, go faster. Hey, so, just a quick bit of warning before we start this video. It's not going to be a cold open this week. I've noticed some issues with this microphone. I'm not sure if it's an actual issue with this microphone or if it's just something I'm noticing that isn't actually that noticeable. If you can notice any particular sound issues, particularly in the final edit of this video, please let me know, put a comment down. I'm probably going to cover comments later as well because I'm going to talk about other things, but just let me know if you're noticing any sound issues. Right, on with the episode. What do I do without the cold open? So as you've probably guessed by the quite large amount of guest videos we've had recently, as well as random other filler episodes, I've been quite busy, as I've also said a couple times. Over the past month or two, I've been rather busy with work stuff, and I haven't quite found my balance yet between work projects and these projects and this project. So I'm trying to find that balance. That's why I called for other video ideas that aren't explicitly related to my projects, because this is kind of just becoming more of a vlog series, as it kind of has been from the start. I want to put more into it, I want to do more things with it, but for now we're just gonna give myself some warm-up time so I can put some effort into making better videos. So this week I'm going to answer another question I had. This was a fair few weeks ago now, but Becky asked if I had any tips on starting a YouTube channel. So thank you very much for the question. I'm going to spend the next 5 minutes thinking internally about what I'm going to say, saying it badly, and then saying it a second time better. That leads directly onto my first point, planning. Planning and knowing what you're going to talk about and what you're going to make is essential to making good content. I personally, given that this is a vlog series, I stopped scripting it a little while ago. Around the 20 video mark is when I stopped scripting it and just went to unscripted content. There's still a couple of episodes since then that have been scripted. You can usually tell from my presentation style. This video sounds scripted, but that's because I'm starting to go into a new style. When I record a video, I record it the first time not knowing exactly what I'm going to say, just kind of fumbling my way around it. Then I record it a second time, every single time, to say it a bit more properly. I say the exact same things, just a second time. I found that that works for me in terms of my ability to present, to enunciate, to plan out my words better. And this is technically my second draft, even though I'm only recording this for the first time today. I recorded this last week's video before Max actually made it with the tier list video, which, by the way, I hope you liked it. I'm considering doing a reaction to it because I've only half watched it. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. It's not going to be like a full OP, it would just be a live stream or something. But yes, plan your videos. It could be fully scripted, it could just be ideas, but knowing what you're going to make, either before you hit record on a camera, before you hit record on a screen recording software, or before you start editing. You can record a video not knowing exactly what it's going to be. That's kind of what my Home Assistant video's been, but that was also scripted in places. And there's just extra bits of footage that I'm now throwing in. That works particularly well for vlogs, but you need to know what your video's going to look like after you edit it, before you edit it. So, we've talked about planning. What next? Knowing your stuff. Depending on your topic, this will vary, but one of the things that everyone needs to know about is how to present what they're trying to tell you. So let's assume that most YouTube videos are trying to either communicate some information or tell a story. Some of them aren't related to that, some of them are just memes that decide to make people laugh. But based on those two principles, you at the very least need to know how to present your story or communicate your information. This will vary depending on whatever you're working on. So let's say, for the sake of argument, I was making programming tutorials, which I have been considering. I think I talked about that a little while ago. If I didn't, I'm considering that. Let me know if you think that's a good idea. So again, let's say you're making programming tutorials. You need to know how to screen record. In my personal opinion, I would use OBS. It's often used for live streaming, but it's perfect for video recording, and I've used it several times for this project. You need to know how to record your audio if you're going to be doing a voiceover. I would highly recommend you do, so you want a quality microphone. Often a headset microphone can work, but personally I use this one, a HyperX Solocast, if I'm recording something at my desk. For instance, this recording is being done with the HyperX Solocast. I'm not using that, I'm using my Rode Video Mic Go, as you've seen in previous videos, but I'm gonna sneeze. Audio levels. Ironic when I'm talking about audio. Yes. You need to know how you're going to record your audio. If you're recording a face cam, you need to know what you're going to use for that. You could use a camera, you could use something like that, or you could just use a little webcam, as long as it's high quality enough. For instance, this Logitech C920 is what I use if I'm recording stuff on my desk. And you also, in such a case where you're communicating information, you need to know that the information you're communicating, to the best of your ability, is accurate and prevents call-out issues. And what I mean by that is, you don't put yourself in a situation where you can be called out for being wrong. For instance, let's say you were talking about programming and you said that this language was objectively the best at a certain task. It might be at the time you're making it. However, in the programming world, technologies evolve extremely quickly. In a couple of years' time, someone might come back to your tutorial and call you out for being wrong now. Then, you will lose all good faith in your video and all traffic to your video. Not good. So what you want to do is say, at the time of recording, this language is the best for whatever function you're doing in such a situation. That's how you would go about it. So yeah, knowing your stuff about the recording process and things like that. Again, I wanted to do a showing how I edit these videos, but I feel like I edit them so sporadically that probably wouldn't work. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe it'll be a live stream. I'm considering doing live streams more. I don't know if you can tell that. Moreover, if you're communicating information or you're telling a story, you need to know what information you're communicating and what story you're telling, which leads back to the planning bit. Numero 3, getting to know what you're doing. If you're starting a YouTube channel with the goal of starting something new, telling a story so you learn something or something like that, you need to get to grips with what you're going to be working on around it. So, in personal opinion, if you were recording with a DSLR camera and your videos are all going to be recorded with a DSLR camera, before you upload or even make your first video, you should shoot 10 to 15 practice videos, just getting to grips with your camera. So learning how the focus works, learning how the zoom works, learning how your audio levels are, learning how your exposure, your ISO, your shutter speed all affect the scope of the video. And seeing how you can change these things throughout a video to tell more of a coherent story. That particularly works if you're going for something artistic. If you know that you need to change things. Say this, the camera's on a tripod in front of me. I know the audio levels are set up in a specific way. I've set up the focus, I've set up the zoom. This is set up in a specific way. I know that the background behind me is the OP background because I set it up. So I put effort into doing that, but outside of that, this is all set up beforehand. I don't need to change things on the fly. I put in B-roll shots, I put in extra elements, but that's in the editing process. So in my case, for instance, I would need to know how to edit good. Something that kinda didn't really happen. You'll see that my editing style changes drastically throughout the course of this project to the point where we are now, where I'm making things like OP Week 40 is the start of a couple filler episodes I have in case I can't make a video. So for instance, Becky also commented a couple weeks ago saying they would be entertained watching me stare at a blank screen for 5 minutes. That is one of the filler videos I had prepared if I can't make a week. Yeah. So my editing style, my style of comedy, because I tried to put comedic elements into this. It's not good, but you know. I tried to put things like that into these. So you'll notice that's changed as I've gone from cold open to actual comedy within the episodes to editing jokes to whatever. So yes, getting to grips with how you're going to make a thing. So what have we covered? We've covered planning, we've covered knowing your stuff, we've covered getting to grips with the stuff you're going to make. If your plan is to promote your work, you need to put... The light just changed. If your plan is to promote your work, you need to know how you're going to go about that. Personally, I would recommend just showing it to friends. Make something that you're proud of and something you would be proud of sharing. If you can do that, then you'll probably be willing to show it to a couple of your friends. And a couple of your friends, if they like it, might be willing to share it to a couple of other friends. That is how things reach new people. It's just word of mouth and communicating. And moreover, if you want a video to be popular, if you want a video to succeed, it needs to have a human aspect. Making a tutorial is great and all, and it's often something that people will say, thank you, I really needed this, and that's good. But if you want to make something that can stay on top, that can survive the passage of time, you need to make something with a human aspect. You need to make something that expresses your inner person, your personality, your character. Or perhaps a completely separate character or personality. If you want to express a different facet of yourself in your YouTube, brilliant. You can create a character that people can engage with. Often YouTubers do that in order to branch out, in order to express themselves. I think Thomas Sanders has a great example of that, in that he expresses different facets of his personality as literal characters in his series Sanders Sides. That's the kind of thing that a lot of people do, even subconsciously, in that they'll express a different part of their character in their YouTube. Like, I am not... Oliver's Project Oliver is very different to Oliver Nickel Oliver, with different people. Like, not literally different people, it's not like a split personality thing, but like, I express myself and communicate differently in this than what I do in real life. I'm more enunciative, I'm more explaining, I talk more passionately about the things I'm interested in. I talk more about these projects. I mean, I don't talk about these all the time, I talk about them a fair bit of the time though. With two different characters. And that's something that's surprisingly more common than you'd think. Express yourself. Even if it's a part of yourself that you wouldn't normally express. Express yourself in your content, and people will come to you. Like-minded people. Other than that, I have only one more bit of advice. Make something that you like. There is no use making content that you think will get lots of views if you hate it, because it will not go well. And you should know that already. Make content that makes you smile. Make content that makes you laugh. Make content that makes you feel empowered. Make content that expresses the message that you wish to communicate. Make a video that is exactly what you would want to watch. Make a video that is exactly what you need to hear. And other people will hear it too. Good luck. God, that video was awful. Can you imagine if I'd uploaded this? God, imagine. I think that was a good enough second take. I think my first one last week was good enough. I think that is a wrap, and I'm going to eat a Starburst now.